drop.
Check. We are live. Welcome everybody back to Gaming Daily Live. Let's go full screen. There we go. My name, as always, is Icy Gaming. I feel like my camera's like tilted to the side a little bit. Happy Thursday, May 14th. It is rainy and cold here in Boston, but it is shining in California, which is where our guest is from today. But more on him in just a minute. Big shout out to Ghost Cat in the Twitch chat already. Super excited for today's episode, talking about building games on Solana, indie devs. Like, if you want the job done right, you got to do it yourself. And that's exactly what today's guest did. But before we get into that, of course, you guys already know, we got to thank the sponsors that make this show possible. I got it wrong. Blaze and YGG Play. Also, big shout out to the Wolves. We're rocking the purple today. It's May, but with the weather today, it's a little chilly. So we threw on the hoodie. Listen, guys, most people in Web3 gaming are either building or talking about it, but Ghost Cat Joypad has been doing both. Let me bring up the little promo graphic that we got here. And he's been doing both at the same time, running a podcast, streaming, creating content, and somewhere in the middle of all of that, quietly building an original IP called Moondance GG. And today we're going to get into exactly what Mooncats actually is, why he thinks the physical TCG cards and a browser like Extraction, maybe MMO, belong in the same universe. Super curious about how he's building that, what it actually looks like to build something, for the long haul, when so much of the space is like, just down bad. Long time listener, first time caller, my guy, Ghost Cat Joypad. Welcome to Gaming Daily Live, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
What is up, dude? GM. Thank you for having me, man. I've been enjoying the show for a while.
That's right.
I think your episodes have been really awesome. Being able to learn about these founders that I otherwise don't know. Because also building in this space, I haven't been exploring much recently.
Yeah.
So it's been great hearing from all these great founders that you've had on, and you've had some bangers, bro. So I appreciate you having me. There is a lot that I'm updating, a lot of stuff that will not correct, but I haven't really posted much about the updates that I'm making.
Sure.
A little bit of a rebrand as well.
Cool. I want to get into all of that, man. But maybe before we do, can we just for your, for the viewers and audience and people that'll see this, maybe just a little bit of background on yourself, man. I mean, you've been a content creator in the space for a while, heavily involved in the Solana ecosystem. Now you're building your own thing, but maybe take us through, your lore, a little bit of your origin story. How did you get started creating content? And get up to the point where you're like, dude, I'm just gonna make my own game.
Yeah, dude. I started off in content creation, actually doing Roblox and Star Citizen. So those are the first games that I was ever streaming.
Hell yeah.
And it was good. I was getting good traction, and then I discovered Web3 through a game called Blankos.
Yep.
And Star Atlas as well. My friend was actually showing me Star Atlas back when I was playing Star Citizen. I was like, man, they're just copying, bro. Like, what is this? And then I did digging from there. The copying that I had seen was because they actually hired one of the concept artists from Star Citizen to design some of their ships, which I thought was cool because that artist has a style that I saw instantly, right? He had a flavor or whatever. So it was really cool. And from there, I fell in love with the tech. I fell in love with like the space. And it's been such a rocky ride, bro.
It's been rocky. We've seen all of it firsthand. But let me ask you just to go back. I mean, shout out to Blankos. The goat, one of the goats. If you know, man. However you feel about it, dude. Yeah. You just had to be there. You had to be there for the Blankos time. Were you into crypto at all before then, or was gaming like your introduction?
I had known about crypto, right? I actually, when I first heard about crypto, I thought it was super cool, having tokens. It's funny. I actually bought this Ledger device back in 2018 or whatever, when I first got Bonk. I only had like $50 of Bonk, right? Or what? Not Bonk. What's the other one? One of them. I only had like $50. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this device. I thought it was so cool, liquidity, like even need to have that. But I had heard about it before, and like literally the first time I had gone into Blankos, my first like character NFT that I bought was $250. Like it was the first, like I went in, I thought it was the coolest looking thing, and then you were able to play as it. So I dived in,
Yeah.
And it's been awesome. What up, Simply? Simply is the GOAT.
Yeah, shout out to Simply. Thank you for pulling up to the Twitch, man. Okay. And then from there, I mean, you heavily dove into Solana. You started making content. Kind of what has that journey been for you? Kind of, being a creator in the space, supporting a lot of games, and then obviously ultimately seeing a lot of the downfall of games, seeing Solana, drop the ball in many ways of like not supporting games or creators more. I think that they're trying to make a change in that. But at the same time, I know that Trekkie and the gaming strategist over there, they're limited in how much and what they can do. And I think they've done a great job with the, gaming on Solana account and whatnot, but it's challenging. But yeah, from your perspective, being a creator, how would you, I guess maybe to ask it better, how would you like characterize your journey and experience over the past few years?
I think I would call myself crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I was talking about this earlier in a VC. Like I've been able to network and make connections with people and friends that I have otherwise wouldn't have been able to outside of the space.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what's happened, it's all been worth it to me. Yeah. I've been able to grow with my technical knowledge, with how I market. Like I've been able to gain so many skills from this that's going to last forever, right? No matter where the space goes, no matter what the tech does. I've learned a ton, and it's been really fun. It's been really cool to go, meet you and other people IRL. You get a better gauge of how people actually are. Some people are fake, some people are just the way they are on camera, like you, bro. You're very friendly. And yeah, I dove into Solana. I love Solana, dude. Like for me, that was the easiest blockchain to onboard people. And I've onboarded like people in my community that have no idea what crypto is or how to handle it. My dad as well. So like it's been an easy chain to onboard with. That's what made me love it so much. And it was just fast, cheap gas fees. And it's great. I still love it, but I just don't think it's the place to build currently, which sucks, because I love it, but the team just trashing on the founders and on gaming, it hurts because it means a lot, right? Obviously, we're all
Yeah.
in the gaming, we all game, we all love the experiences we've had, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So for like a team to FUD on an
Yeah.
entire category that means so much, it's kind of like, okay, bro, like that's not cool, and I don't want to be there with that. um but yeah, obviously when you're building a game, when you're building an app or whatever, obviously you're not going to rely off the blockchain forever, right? Your end
Mhm.
goal is to market to everyone, to market to the specific demographic that you're building for. That's the end goal,
Mhm.
obviously. um but building a game in blockchain, you do have like a massive advantage over any other traditional game, because like people don't realize, dude, like only like 2% of games that are being built actually make it, right?
Yeah.
There's like thousands, hundreds of thousands of games being built every year that fail, that don't get any traction, that don't get any eyes. So building on blockchain, you have a massive advantage with the chain to get an initial boost of people to support what you're building, and then from there, you grow into that demographic of everyone else.
I completely agree, man. I think, there's plenty of criticisms to be laid upon quote unquote Web3 gaming, but I do think that it can be this like huge lever or like force multiplier on, getting a certain amount of distribution or first players or, the golden cohort of people to come and QA test your game. And I mean, easier said than done, right? But like, I would, I think there's a lot to be said for being a big fish in a small pond, and then graduating to a bigger pond. Um, Obviously, a lot of teams and games, have found that leap to be really, really difficult, and fair
Mhm,
enough. But I mean, the traction that you're able to get early on in Web3 crypto is a unique advantage and shouldn't be discounted, in my opinion.
mhm. Yeah, no, and yeah, it's hard. Like, and as a creator, I've given so much feedback to these
Yeah.
games and these founders, right? And obviously, none of them took any feedback that we've given as creators. Um,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it's hard. But they just never did the things that they should have to
Yeah.
to grow. And it's not the fact that it's Web3 gaming. Yes,
Yeah.
people have a stigma about crypto. Yes, it's gonna hurt at first,
Yeah.
but if you do it right, you're gonna last long term. Just none of them built towards that. Everyone built a demo, that never updated in 3 years, and it's like, oh, what
Yeah.
happened? It's like, bro, they didn't update the game, they didn't update it, and onboarding sucked, right?
Yeah.
When you're building a game or a product, your onboarding has to be as good as the current competition,
Yeah.
and then better, right? If you want to
Yeah.
stand out.
Yeah.
And same
And
with
your
like certain,
marketing and a
yeah.
lot of the marketing too. I
Yeah.
mean, dude, I'm with you, man. Like, it's tough to throw stones at a glass house because I've never built a game. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, like, sure, Icy, you can, oh, like, what do you know? But at the same time, I'm like, bro, skill issue. Like, there's like, come on. Like, if I see random indie games going viral on Twitter every other day, and you're telling me that, like, some of these, crypto games couldn't have tried to like figure that out. I mean, what
Mhm,
Dith has done with Gigaverse is remarkable, right? Like, over 500,000 followers on like YouTube, maybe close to 1 million on Instagram. And that's just like a very simple social media strategy that they've deployed to build around this IP. And I just like, you know, I agree with you, man. A lot of teams really didn't deliver on some of the basics. And
mhm.
again, yes, it's very hard, but at the same time, some of these teams raised more money than than anything. And it's like,
insane amounts.
what
Yeah.
are we doing?
And those are just bad teams, to be honest.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the tech, has nothing to do with the games.
Yeah.
It was just bad teams that just took money, basically took money and ran.
Yeah.
What up, Valorant? Let's go. And Doug
Valent
in
in
the
the
chat.
chat, my guy.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'll let you finish.
That was it.
Well, I mean, I think that's like a really good transition, man. So like, what inspired you to start Moondance, or what is the story behind Moondance, man? Did you always want to make your own game and now it was like possible to do? Tell us about that.
I love art and creativity, and gaming has had a huge impact on me, because like, despite what everyone tells me, sometimes people around you will be like, why are you wasting your time, and sometimes it felt like that, but like looking back, and even now, dude, like, I've had some incredible experiences, with friends, with family, and during a certain point in my life, dude, gaming like kept me going.
Yeah.
It was a great distraction, and it still is a good time, because sometimes the world sucks around you, and you just gotta decompress, and gaming was my decompression. And so I want to give back, I want to have a turn to give people that same feeling, with characters that you love, to play a game with them, to do all this stuff, and so I want to throw my hat in the ring and build something, because I love creating things. I love art, obviously. Even before content, I've been shooting photography and videography for like over a decade now. So I've always been drawn to the creative arts, and so this is like the perfect way for me to express that and to build upon. And so that's why I'm doing it, right? Like, I will keep building until it makes it, right? And with Web3, I think I've always wanted like blockchain tech in gaming before I even heard of it. There's a game called UB Funkies. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But basically it was a PC game, and you had these physical characters that you could plug on top of the device and play as those characters in the game. So it was literally like a collectible. You can get a physical character and play as that in the game. It was sick.
Cool.
And like, I always like loved that, and I always wanted that in other games, right? To have that collecting feeling, because I love collecting things like Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And so this tech allows you to do that digitally, right? For games that you play, you buy your characters, you earn your characters. There's a supply in it. It's cool. And we're seeing games really neglect players from that more and more, right? Fortnite took away rarities. They also bringing back characters from previous battle passes, which nobody liked, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you have PlayStation now telling you that you have to play within 30 days or they're going to take away the game that you paid for. Like, crazy. What is that, bro? Like, we need more ownership for gaming. And that's what this gives us. So I'm building, that's what I'm building for. So that kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah.
No, I love the philosophical I guess like thesis behind it, because I very much agree, right? Like the thing that really clicked for me was digital property rights, in the fact that like we deserve, as like sovereign, human beings that are like operating on the internet. I think it's a fundamental human right that we have property rights in this digital, landscape. And for me, that's like at a fundamental first principle standpoint, that's blockchain, that's ownership. At a bare minimum, it's like respect for another human being. And when we have these centralized systems and these game consoles and publishers and whatnot that can control everything, well, they don't have any incentive to respect the players, or to treat them maybe the way that they deserve to be treated. And so blockchain, for me, in many ways, and like blockchain gaming, is about kind of disrupting that power structure and saying like, hey, no, like we we deserve better aligned incentives, and if you won't give it to us, then like we will create a new system that will kind of force your hand so that you have to. I don't know, again, I could go on that tangent as well, but going back to Mooncats and Moondance, man, I love that. So like you've got a physical TCG, but you're also building this browser game. Like you said, that you've got maybe some updates, maybe some rebrand stuff that you want to talk about. But before that, like tell us like kind of the original idea between the physical TCG and the browser game, because I like your example of having this physical item that you would plug in and then get to play as, I think is a really cool way to bridge the gap between the analog world and the digital world and creating that connection. And yeah, it's surprising that like we don't have more of that, because it's such a cool way to
it was a cool thing back then, dude. And it was like in 2008 or whatever, and I was like, this is the sickest thing ever. But yeah, so I am rebranding, as you can see, Mooncat. So I did start off as Moondance. I loved that name.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Like in reality, I love space. I love the moon. The moon has been like so cool to me. It's the closest celestial body we have to our planet, and I photograph it all the time. It's just so cool to me. So I wanted that in the name. Yeah. And what I'm building is an IP, right? An IP of characters and lore. And with a name like Moondance, I always had to explain that, or explain what that is. The logo didn't really tie in with what I was making, because I had to explain that as well. And literally, like, you and other people mistakenly said Mooncats. When it was Moondance.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I did that yesterday and I noticed it.
You did that like a few months ago too, and like so did some other people. And I'm like, I'm so stupid. Like, so I'm rebranding it to Mooncats, right? I'm building an IP off these characters. The logo, you see the logo, you see it's an instant connection. You know what it is, right? They're characters, and me building an IP, it's just a lot easier to read off that that name, off that logo. So that's the rebrand that I'm doing with it. I want to get the X name, but I can't get it because they're like, oh, actually, you need a full whatever the full business one is.
Yeah.
To get it. So we'll get that soon, but it is available to get.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I am rebranding to Mooncats. And like a better description. Can I share my screen actually?
Yeah, please. Go for it.
I do have a slide. I won't read all of it. I'll just go over it. Just to give like an actual idea, or like so you know exactly what I'm building. I can do separate tabs. Let's go. All right, so can you see that? All right, let's go. All right, so this is what I'm building here. So Mooncats is an IP. I've got these like rubber hose styled characters. I love rubber hose style characters. So that was my inspiration for these characters that I'm building. From that IP, I am making the physical TCG.
Wow,
right?
Look at those.
From this IP, I'm building the browser game. And from this, I'm gonna have the merch and everything. There's gonna be a season pass in the game where you can get these characters, but overall, it's an IP. So the TCG is its own game, right, based off of those characters, and the game is gonna be an MMO style browser-based game where you could play as those same characters. So that's just kind of the basic overview of that. I do have a site already where people can make their user accounts. And this was like, as a creator and user, these few years in Web3 gaming, bro, onboarding sucked. Yeah. So I had to make sure that onboarding was seamless, bro. So it is email OTP, right? You get an in-app wallet. And I have it so like you can easily transfer assets, because like I don't even know why that wasn't a function with most games too with accounts. You can't transfer the assets. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So like I wanted to make sure that I had these functions available, being built with my foundation in the game. because a lot of times people say like build the game first, then add Web3, but you can't do that. It's not going to be good, you know.
Yeah.
You can't like you can't make a certain part of the cake ingredients and then add the other ingredients after. You gotta
Yeah,
you
right.
gotta cook it. You gotta bake it together.
Yeah.
So like I'm building it together with it, because I want it to be a seamless process. I want it to be easy for people to just get into. You don't even have to interact with it if you don't want to. And for those that are knowledgeable with it, you can link your own wallets if you have assets there. So that's what I needed to make sure that the user accounts had, which they already do. For the browser game that I'm making,
well, can I let me interrupt you real quick, Ghost?
So sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. This is great. I just wanted to I guess I just wanted to double click into that because you are making this as a solo, dev founder, which I think is awesome. And you're also doing it I'm sure you're, largely self-funding. So how are you making this? How are you going about it? Are you using, I would assume and hope that you're using quite a bit of AI. How are you developing it? Well, I know you posted about like using Privy and kind of like launching it through portals and things like that. So how are you figuring that all out yourself just with like ChatGPT and Claude? Because I think it's remarkable that you're doing it and building in the crypto elements of it. I guess it almost makes me think that a lot of crypto games were just unfortunately too early because the AI just wasn't good enough to help them at the time, which is like,
I actually only have been using it recently, and that's to help build out the mechanics for the browser game. Everything else, like all the artwork, the assets, like I designed everything.
Oh wow.
I don't think I don't believe AI can replace actual artists, for creating things. I like every person has their own experiences and from life that they put into their work, and I don't think that can be replaced by AI, right? At least for creating art pieces.
That's
especially
awesome,
if you're building, especially if you're building something unique, right? You don't want to just develop something with AI. The art's been great. I actually, so for the artwork for like the characters that I designed, they were done by Hugo Blendl, and he's an ex-supervisor animator from Rick and Morty. And he has his own studio now. So he did the art for this. He did the art for the game cover as well. And he's incredible, right? It's like he's such a cool guy. He's very down to earth. And he does awesome art. So he's gonna always be doing my artwork for the TCG and other things. So I'm like so fortunate. Like that's another connection like I wouldn't have been able to make outside of Web3, right? So it's really cool to have meet people with such awesome talent. So yeah, I've been building this for like about a year, right? Everything with AI, it's been a huge help, dude, with especially with the game, because that's just sped up my timeline a ton. With like mechanics and just getting it all set up.
And how are you building that? Like, is it ChatGPT Codex? Is it Claude Code? And are you building in Unity or like it's browser based?
I'm using, it's browser based. I'm using Claude and it's being built off of 3JS.
Nice.
Initially I was going to build the full game on portals, but I'm pretty limited with what I can do there in terms of like user accounts that I have set up for Mooncats. And that was a mutual agreement. Like I still love portals and the team over there, they're great. And they understand that, right? So I just wouldn't have been able to do as much as I wanted to there with the scale that I want. So I'm going to be building it all in-house. I do have a social hub in portals where I was going to show to you later if that's all right.
Yeah, please.
But yeah, so the browser game is going to be an MMO, mining, all that stuff, quests and everything.
And what's like the lore behind it? Like, is it going to be cats on the moon or like how?
So There is lore. That's another huge thing for me that I like so many projects missed out on, like lore.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you
Yeah.
need lore. And that's why IP is
Give me a
important for me,
reason to
because
care, you know?
yeah, and people dive into that, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and not all gamers dive into the lore, right? There's so I'm gonna go off on a tangent, but I love the demographics that you have building a Web3 game.
Mhm.
Right, you have the gaming demographic, you have the collector demographic, right, you have the lore demographic, you've got you've got the art demographic. So there's so many things to build for, and I think that's super super fun and cool, at least for me.
Yeah.
Because you're building all these amazing things that just work together, but
Mhm.
can also be separate for each person, depending. Like with art creators, you have people diving into the lore, you have people diving into the gameplay. There's just so many aspects to build for in Web3, because you're
Yep.
also introducing collectors, right, that just want to collect for the cool art. So like that's also going into it with the way I'm currently designing like the NFT characters. Yeah, they're going to be playable characters, but I also want it to be like really cool art that people can collect for those collectors that just want the pieces in their inventory to look at. So it's super fun. um what was your question? Did I answer?
No, we were just going off on a tangent about the lore, and so like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I
So
mean the
I have
MMO like is
lore.
there.
Yeah, I have lore created. I actually have lore for this first season that I'm doing. I have
Yeah.
lore for all the characters already, which is
Just give
what
us
I
a
want to
little bit
show
of a
you.
preview, right? Like where does it take place? Is it cats on the moon, or like
So
what's kind of a little bit of the backstory or world that you're building with this?
so the main species are ghost cat
Yep.
species. Moon cats are gonna be 500 moon cats in universe that are granted power, right, to harness lunar energy,
Mm,
and which is the main power source in the universe. And the way like they all get it is they harness it through the moon crystals, um, which power all their tech and everything. So that's like the outer surface of that. And then for each character too, I already have cool lore for that.
mhm.
But yeah, the Moon Cats is going to be the highest rarity character collection in the IP, and so you're going to be able to rock literally the name of the project, right? And they're going to be very special, and I want to keep that rarity too, because that's another thing I saw in Web3 games, right? You have these huge 10,000 piece collections, and
Mhm.
as a game, you obviously want to add more characters, right? As you
Yeah.
develop the game, people love to earn characters, unlock them in quests, or unlock them in battle pass. So you got to have a plan for like multiple characters. You can't just have one collection forever. And like, how are you going to keep that collection like a rare when you're releasing more collections down the line? So this collection is going to be the highest rarity, the smallest supply generative collection. There's obviously going to be like single character NFTs later on. But for the lore and what I've built already, let me show you here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Okay, can you share this? So
Yeah.
this is built on Portal. So this is like a little
Wow.
social hub. Um, so every asset in here is unique, right? There's no pre-made assets that I've built for this world, and that's another
That's
thing
sick.
that I saw, right, in Web3. So many
So many
pre-made
pre-made,
assets,
dude.
and you're trying to create a unique world, and you can't
Yeah.
do that with pre-made assets,
They're
right?
so
So I
sterile
made
and so like uninspiring.
yeah, so I made like most of the structure assets, right?
That's awesome.
Most and this cafe specifically, and the main map that I want to show you, was actually made by like a super talented 3D model artist.
Mm,
She literally made the maps for Power Wash Simulator. She's done creatures in Marvel movies,
wow.
and all that. So like insane portfolio of work. And again, another connection I wouldn't have been able to make outside of the Web3 space. So I'm
Okay,
like,
can we just like what I love that, and you mentioned it a few times right now, so I'm curious like what do you mean by that, connections that you've been able to make in Web3? Is it because you've been on Twitter and like connecting with people? Did you meet some of these people IRL, kind of around in photography and fashion and, you know, creative art, and it's like, oh, I'm a creator and I do this stuff in gaming? Like what do you know, because I think that's a good kind of case study or lesson or insight for other people. So I'm curious.
Network is king. And as a creator, like that's how I've been doing my network, right? As a content creator, and now a founder. But just reach out to people. So the way I networked with Hugo Blendl, who did the artwork for the characters, he actually launched his own collection on ETH. And I discovered his collection. I was like, yo, this art is sick. And I was like, it stood out to me as familiar, and now I know why, because he worked on Rick and Morty, so it had like a similar like taste and style. And I literally like I reached out to him through that collection because I thought it was cool. And you know, we started talking, and you know, found out more about what he does. And I wanted him to do art for my TCG for the characters, and so you know, that's that. With the 3D artist that helped me build like the whole map, the first map that I have in this structure. She's actually in the Portals community through another artist who's done like work on Marvel movies as well. So they are like insanely good at like 3D modeling. They're so talented. So you know, I networked with him, communicated with him, and with the Portals community, like saying I need, you know, wanted some help. If anyone had any experience with 3D modeling, and he reached out to me. He's like I know this person who could do it, and that's how I did that. But yeah, network is king. Just talk to people, you know, go to the communities, and I say in Web3 because I networked through Web3 projects, through Discords, through NFTs. And it's good having like a network already, you know, with collabs. You know, like first thing I do when I see someone on X is see how many like same connections I have with that person. You know, it helps a lot to verify someone, because there's also a lot of scammers. But but yeah, just like collaborating and networking is super helpful. And you know, you just got to communicate. Don't be scared.
Twitter account and a dream, man. I love it. I think that's so important, because like you're right. It's it's like this shared connection or bond when you're already like doing something in Web3 and it's something new. And so reaching out to somebody, everyone kind of wants to be seen or, you know, appreciated and whatnot. And like, you know, when you have a shared bond over art or whatnot, people are like more than willing to, you know, connect and then help out, and they get excited about like, oh man, like thank you for, you know, seeing what I'm doing. And it really can be a superpower, and you know, you're proof in the pudding because you've been able to make these incredible connections and you know, collaborate on a really cool project.
Yeah, so it's been a blast, dude. And then yeah, just going back on the lore really quick, like anybody can hop in here. And you have all the character roster here for the first season. Here's the lore for season 0 that I'm currently on. If you click the radios underneath each character, you'll hear their lore. For each character of this first season that I'm doing.
You've already built out more than like most, not most, let's not do that, but like a lot of Web3 game demos that like never even, you know. Oh man.
Yeah, that like and I saw that too as a creator, right? And a user. I wanted to I want to turn at it, you know? So like this entire map was built by the 3D artist Zara. And she's just so talented. So I gave her like a very terrible like blueprint for the map. And she was like, all right, I'm gonna change this and this. Because she has experience building gaming maps as well. And like so passionate about like how it flows when you're actually walking on the map. And it was just like, yo, you like so awesome, so talented. So all of this is unique, right? To the world, to the lore.
Very cool.
every asset in here, and that's what I want to have too. I want it to feel unique. I want it to have, something you could connect to that's different. It's not pre-made. So yeah, this was the first map. The new one is obviously gonna be different because it's gonna be a different styled game.
Sure.
So the browser game I'm building now, it's gonna be top down. And I want it to be accessible to mobile users. So that's one way to make it a little bit easier to play on mobile, is to have it top down, so you're not like fully 3D. But yeah, that was super important to me too, to make sure that mobile users can use it, and I want to play it on the on the go too, because I don't carry my PC around everywhere. But yeah, so that's a little bit on that.
Well, I guess I'm curious, like what caused that pivot? Because you've gotten this far, and it's really cool. So why, like, was there something about this that wasn't feasible or viable, or something changed in the strategy?
Yeah, no, just going back to earlier, I'm very limited with what I can build on portals in terms of how I wanted to handle user accounts. And I'll share a little bit more about that later too in another slide. But yeah, I just couldn't do everything that I wanted to do, basically. And I am sacrificing the 3D environment aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I'm gaining a lot more in terms of actual gameplay, the game loop, progression. I'm gaining so much more.
Okay.
Just
which is super important, like super important.
But no, I love portals. Like you can make insane games now, because they also like fully implemented like AI, so you can with their system, like it's crazy. But yeah, I'm losing a little bit, but for what I'm building, I'm gaining a lot.
Got it. Well, I mean, I'd love to learn more about that. It sounds like you got more slides.
Yeah, I think it's just easier with slides to show what I'm talking about.
Of course.
And this one again is just covering the TCG. So like I've spent months playing and iterating with my family, because I love TCGs, right? The whole idea of like Pokemon, Magic, like I always was drawn to it, but like you needed a niche group of people to play with, right? And we always had these family game nights where we'd play games, and it's like, bro, like board games, like if you make a good board game or card game, like it's never gonna not get people, buying it, right? And you look at Pokemon too, it's insane. But I wanted something that like everyone could enjoy, like family, friends, like something that wasn't too crazy to learn with like so many like rules and stuff. And so that was my goal going into this TCG, making sure that it was easy to like learn and start off with for family to enjoy, but there's still so much strategy you can have with like the characters that you choose, for those that want to deep dive into like picking out your deck or whatever. So
give us a brief overview, right? Because like on the site, I don't know if this has been updated or changed, but it says 3 character cards.
Yeah, it's been updated. Dice. So I do got to update the site. But yeah, I've actually had some beta sets sent out to people too. Maddox is one of them.
Oh, nice.
And I've gotten feedback from them, and then like also feedback from just playing it here with my wife and the family. And I've taken that feedback and not completely redone the gameplay, but improved upon it a lot. So like one of the things was that I got a lot from feedback was that there wasn't a lot of use case to use some of the same characters that you would get from a pack, right? Because it's random. You have RNG in the pack, so sometimes you'd get like multiple of the same character, but there wasn't much use for it past a certain amount. So that's something I really wanted to make sure that there was actually use case for like having a lot of the same character. So that's one thing that changed. But the core goal of the game, basically, you have all your cards face down, and the winning stupid, I forgot a word, but to win the game, you have to flip over all of your character cards, and the first person to do that wins the game.
Okay.
And you can play this with two or more people, right? Because I want to make sure that it's not just 1v1. That's another thing with TCGs, it's mostly just 1v1,
right?
So the gameplay, it can be two or more. So we've played with like 6 people, and dude, it's a blast because some people get targeted. It's like, why are you attacking me only? You know. So like each game is also different too. I wanted that too. I wanted to have like different things happening each round you play. It's not just the same thing over and over again.
Very cool.
So that's one of the things that happens. It can change, you know, for each round. But yeah, these are coming out soon. There's final artwork being done for the pets. And once that's done, it's going to be final. So I'll be shipping that within the next couple months. There are some pre-orders already. You can pre-order it right now, but there's going to be and a little upgrade in the art too. So pretty excited. I'm super excited to play. And the reason I wanted a physical TCG for my IP was because that's something that I could actually ship out on my own without needing too many resources, right? And literally, I think it's just so cool to have like a physical thing as part of your IP, as part of your project, because then people can play outside of the computer, right? Outside of the digital world. And like we literally lost power like a week ago, and you know everyone was like, "Let's just play a board game." Like, let's go.
Light up the candles, man. You know.
Yeah. So it's cool to have that physical game that people can play. You know, still having the characters that you like from the IP, right? You're still able to use that outside of your computer, outside of your screens.
I mean, just making something tangible and real is always gonna, you know, hit a little bit different. You know, like when I made my jerseys, you know, I was like, this is like I made this.
It's so cool, dude. It's so cool.
Where, I guess I'm curious, what did it take to make the cards and the packs and stuff? Did you find a local, you know, like manufacturer, printer that kind of like packages that stuff? Are you ordering it online? Like if someone else wanted to take inspiration on that, like how did that come to be? Did you do quality control checks or like, this card stock's not great? Like,
yeah, I actually did. I ordered like 4 different card stocks. I wanted the best one. And yeah, I'm using a distributor they're in China. So the tariffs hit hard when I ordered the last batch. I was like, God damn. So it would be nice to find like a local distributor. It's just hard. A lot of them you gotta like email, you know, classic, wait like freaking 10 days to get a reply. But yeah, the one I'm using, it's pretty much you can do it on your own. You go to the website, you upload your art, you choose your quantities, and it's made to order.
Cool.
So for now, that's, you know, that's good for me. Later on, I've contacted other distributors like that Magic the Gathering uses, and other card games, but you need like a very high batch order. And for this first season, it's not a lot of characters and not a lot of cards. So I'm starting off small. I don't want to like bite off too big of something, right? So later on, I'm gonna be moving up to those distributors as I progress and develop and increase the supply quantity for the card packs and such. But for now, this is okay, right? For the first batch, first season, it works great. I'm you know, I'm impressed because it just looks so good to me. You know, it's something that you did, and when you get it, you know, it just, I don't know, it's exciting. So like
100%, dude, you're building and you're creating and you're you know, taking something from your mind and your heart and like putting it out there into the world. It's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, look at those, man. The cards look sick, dude. Those cards look sick. So but maybe I want to ask a little bit more about them, but before that, like how much time are you spending working on this on a weekly, monthly basis? Like, is it a part-time thing, your 5 to 9 kind of thing? Or, and like, also, like, how are you, if you don't mind, whatever you're comfortable sharing, like, how are you funding it? Is like self-funding it out of your own pocket kind of thing? Like, I'm just curious because, I think it's such a great story of like creator turned game founder, getting it out the mud, solo, kind of off the strength, few, partnerships and collabs here and there of people contributing and helping out. But, like, yeah, I'd just love to hear about that process.
Yeah, it's right now it's all 100% self-funded. Thankfully, like the artists that I've commissioned and work with have given me like, dude, like insane deals. Like I know they can charge way more with the quality that they've given me, and I feel bad. Like I'm gonna take care of them, I'm gonna take care of them good. But they've given me such great deals, and I think that's just because like you just gotta make connections and just connect with people, dude. Don't just let it be superficial. You have to be honest, and I've been completely honest with them about like expectations, and they appreciate that, and dude, I appreciate them a ton. So like thankfully I've been able to do like whatever funding I need for specific things for artwork, to get stuff printed or to run the website, whatever. I've been able to do it in pieces, so not all at once, right? And I have a full-time job right now, so that's kind of helping me as well. Before it was just like stuff that I would make off content or sponsors. So I would usually use like my sponsors and just flip it around and put it back. Which sometimes it's like, I'm so crazy, dude. What am I doing? What am I doing? I think it's a good test as a founder if you're building something to kind of have this moment where you're like you're basically running off of just like spare energy, because then you'll really find out whether you want to actually build it or not, right? When you have no resources, when you have very little of everything, you find out very quickly if you're actually in it because you believe in it and because you want to. When I've had my down moments, it's been rough, but I dude, like I don't know why I don't stop, and I think that's a good realization to have as a founder. You want to make sure you have that, because then if you do get a bump later down the road, sometimes these founders just give up. So it's good to have that in the beginning when there's not a lot writing on your project, right? I don't have too big of a community, and when you're just starting off, you're not disappointing a ton of people if you fail or if you stop.
You got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, you really find out if you're in it because you want to, and I really want to. Like I'm still building. I still want it to be something that people enjoy, even if it's just one person. But like I enjoy it, so I'm having fun.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. I don't know if there's any other slides. I definitely have other questions, but I wanted to give you the chance to kind of keep going through anything that you wanted to share.
There is.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So this is another thing that I created, which like is fully functional right now. There's going to be some updates, but this is one of the main things that like why I needed to build this in-house and not on portals. So I have account level NFTs. So
cool.
As soon as you make an account on the website, in the background, NFT is minted to your account, a level NFT. And as you gain experience, dude, it's just sick. It's so sick. When you get XP from like doing anything in a round, it's literally an on-chain action that applies to the NFT. And so when you level up and it goes to the next level, it's literally an on-chain action that updates the NFT to the next level.
Yeah.
It's so sick. It's super cool. And it's on the background. Like nothing happens. You don't pay for gas or approve transactions. It's literally on the background.
And is this on Solana or no? Because you said you weren't kind of building on Solana.
So right now this is on Solana, right? This I've tested. It's functioning, and I've everything I've built has been on Solana currently.
Cool.
we'll get to stuff later. But it works, right? The thing is that like it's fully functional and it's so sick. So I wanted this type of progression system in games because like since the beginning of time for games, people sell their accounts, right? For their account level. So I wanted to have this form of a leveling, like a progression system where if you want to, you can literally grind the game and then like sell a high level account to someone else, right?
Nice.
And that could be your like your income, right? You sell like high level accounts for people that don't want to level up or spend the time, because there's people that that do that. They don't have a lot of time to play. They just want to buy the highest level they can and enjoy all the perks that come with it. So I wanted to create like this is going to create like its own little marketplace within the community once it's out, which I think is so cool, right? Like it's it's free, everyone could do it. But the community will kind of set the price for how they want to set each level. So that's another cool aspect that I was building for, and that's something that I couldn't do on Portals, right? Is to have that XP apply. But it's so cool, dude. The on-chain actions, like it's sick.
Super cool. I mean, to me, that's like what crypto gaming is all about. Like it should be natively integrated with on-chain something. And NFTs are one of the coolest ways. And there's so much possibility with that stuff. And I love that. I love that you create an account, you get, an account level as an NFT, and it matures and upgrades over time based on like what you do, and it's tied to your stuff. I mean, like it's kind of, I've been sorely disappointed by the lack of innovation and design, in the space from so many games. Like, I understand, I've talked about this on the show, but I understand the like inclination to go web 2.5 or web 2, just make a cool game and like put everything else in the background. But then it's like, but then we're not even doing anything. Like it's not even, it's like, what are we doing? And so I respect people like Sinjin and the other builders who view the vision of like, no, like this is something new. And yes, it's hard. It's damn near impossible. But like, if and when you can do it, you truly go from 0 to 1 and you create something new, and the TAM and possibility of that is like almost endless. So like if you're gonna play, try to play for all of it, or go all in. You don't go like half crypto.
It's like hard to do that too,
for sure.
Like
it's easy, it's way easier said than done. I recognize that.
But no, if you just gotta make it right, dude. Like the one thing that killed it is that onboarding, dude. Onboarding sucked. Like you gotta connect your wallet, you gotta do all this, and it's like, dude, like no one's gonna do this. Of course it's gonna fail. Of course it's gonna be like, oh, Web3 sucks, and let's just go halfway.
I mean, yes, that was true, but I'd also say like, people were willing to do it. And then what killed it was lack of content, or lack of like, depth, or, like finished products of like, to be able to continue to play. Like a good example for me is, Heroes of Hold'em, which was a game that I worked with recently. And I mean, credit to them. You can just create like a wallet. It does it all for you. You just sign up with your email and everything, and then you click transactions. It's all in the browser. But the game like has enough depth that you can continue to keep playing and keep going and everything. I think Waifu Sweeper is another kind of good example, but also bad example, because Waifu Sweeper, play in the browser, super fun. But to your point, you do need to buy one of their NFTs for like $6, and it's on Abstract. So even getting money into Abstract, I mean, it's like, that's a huge hurdle for people, to the point where I literally have to like, tell people to sign up, and then I'll send them the money so that they can buy the NFT to onboard them. Because once you play, the game loop is so simple yet so fun and addictive that like I find myself continuing to spend money in the game because I want to keep playing it. And it's a very basic, minesweeper style game loop. But what they've done is innovative enough that like you keep playing and you keep spending.
Yeah. No, that's a big part of it too, just making sure that people can actually get in on their own,
Yeah. Well,
without
like
having
why
to explain it.
to your point though, it drives me crazy. Like, why isn't there a free to play version so that like people can get hooked and then want to like have what they can get hooked, they can have the experience, and then they want to upgrade to the paid version and spend money because
Yeah.
like no one's gonna spend money for the game for a game. Let me rephrase. Very few people are gonna spend money for a game that they like haven't tried for because it's so simple in the browser, like you're
Yeah.
not paying
It's the
$5 for something
it's the
like
easiest way to get people into, just have it free to play.
yeah,
If somebody likes it, they're gonna pay money for it.
yeah,
You know, it doesn't matter. Like, and some people never end up paying for skins. Like people play Fortnite, like there's rocking defaults, bro. I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah.
You've been on this for like 5 years. But some people just don't, and so you want to make sure like you still have all the features and functions available to
Mhm.
everyone, so that those that don't, because there are those that don't, and it's not
Yeah,
because they don't like it, they just don't want to spend money in the game. So
yeah,
you still got to make sure that you have all the functions and features, to everyone, to
yep,
enjoy the same experience, or else you're gonna lock people out, and it's just gonna divide.
100%. What else have you built in Mooncats? I'm curious.
Um, a lot. That's why I do these slides, because it's so hard to like talk
Yeah.
about it. So yeah, the level NFT were huge for me. I thought that was so cool. So one thing that I am going to be doing is moving to abstract.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Oh, very cool. Alpha
I
breaking
yeah.
out to abstract.
Yeah. So Marcello has been a huge help in that. So I'm actually in the process right now,
Very
chatting
nice.
with the team. But yeah, I think, each chain has their ups and downs, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, there's FUD on literally every chain, bro.
Yeah.
Um, but you just gotta pick one.
Yeah.
And right now, I think it is important. Like again, like going back to your demographic. Obviously, you want to build for the demographic of the category you're building in, right? The genre of
Mhm.
game that you're building in. And so, but right now, starting off, I think it does matter what chain you're on,
Mhm.
and for a community to see that chain as gaming, right? So right now there's like three chains that people see as gaming, right? That's abstract, Ronin, um and like maybe base or IMX.
Immutable.
I mean,
Immutables.
yeah.
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 Their
um uh,
ambassadors do a good job of promoting them, man.
yeah. But
I
I went.
appreciate that they have been consistently, they haven't like faltered or, like
Mhm.
they're all in on gaming,
Yeah,
Um,
and that's important too. It's for the team and for the chain to recognize gaming as an important pillar
yeah.
in their ecosystem, right? Because that's completely absent on Solana. I think they're abandoning it,
Yes.
actually, because it wasn't even
Right.
mentioned in like the things that they, they were building towards.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
they just, like, Solana has such a bad track record of like not supporting good projects. Like I've
Yeah.
seen great apps, great projects, great games being built on Solana that just don't
Mhm.
get support. And the support that they do show to these, like, bro, like literally like just marketplaces or meme coins, like, bro, like come
Yeah.
on, like none of it's
Yeah.
lasted. and
Yeah.
and, and so it's just like, it's been like years of that, and I've tried to just brush it off because I love the chain and I've been shilling it forever. And they're just terrible at supporting real projects.
Yeah.
They like, I feel like they're only doing things that's going to get them a quick buck. And it shows, and people are seeing it, and they I don't want to be on a chain in an ecosystem like that.
Yeah.
um
Respect, man. Respect you for putting your money where your mouth is, in many ways.
Yeah, so I chose abstract because, one, I trust Marcelo and he's bullish on it, so I trust his opinion. I've met him in IRL too, so like he's
the
great.
GOAT, dude. Shout out to
Yeah,
Marcelo,
like
man.
you guys are great. And then, like another pivoting point for me was when Super Tripland just recently migrated to Abstract, and yeah, Guava and Super Trip, like I've known them for years now, and like they've been building and grinding, and they've built a great product, and I trust them a ton.
Yeah.
So like that's another like group that moved to Abstract that I value their opinion. So for me, that was like, all right, I gotta choose. I'm gonna choose Abstract, because the community does see it as a gaming chain. The chain does support their games, and I just want to be there in an ecosystem, that's known for gaming and that has that that community already built around it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really important, and it's going to be a great boost. And yeah, it's great.
100%, man. What does the future for Mooncats look like, man? Like, what is maybe your internal roadmap for things that you want to get done and you want to kind of get out there? And then, how are you thinking about that kind of go to market? I know that, some of the packs are available. You can buy them on the website. You've got some merch, which is really cool. I think that, you've kind of put so many of the pieces in place, which is really exciting to see. But yeah, how are you thinking about that? Do you think that you'll put up a Kickstarter at some point, or try to raise some money to kind of like go to market? Or like, what does that kind of look like?
Simply TMI, bro.
Shout out
bro's in chat saying he got more blood tests, but he's back. That's the important part. He's back.
We're still back. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Valorant plays games on Abstract, Base Drone, and Immutable. Yeah, it's known for gaming. So yeah, I think Abstract is the right choice. But yeah, I plan to obviously the first full product that's going to get shipped out is the TCG. Mm-hmm. I'm working on the browser game right now. I wanted to have a playtest tomorrow. There's just a few things that I have to update. Obviously, I got to update like the branding on the website, because that took me longer to do to make the new art and the UI changes. Took me a little bit longer. So hopefully we'll have a small little game test within the next month for people to do, because I want to get some bugs worked out, because like before I build any further, I like at each step I want to have people test it so I can crash bugs before I build out further, and then there's like big bugs everywhere. So I want to be testing that as I build, and get people's feedback and ideas and all that. But yeah, I did recently open up to pre-seed funding, so currently looking for that. I did apply for the A16 that speed run that they just posted about, and ends this week. So that was really cool. Like they had great questions on there for founders and for what you're building. It's funny because like doing that, like answering questions like why are you building this, or like what are you building, it becomes clearer to me when I answer those questions, because I'm typing, I'm writing something like oh my god, like that's why I'm doing this. So it's really cool to answer those questions for the application. But yeah, super excited about that. So yeah, right now looking for funding to just kind of jumpstart everything. Otherwise, I'm still going to be building. It's going to take a long time, but I'm still going to be building no matter what. The funding is to give a jumpstart to the whole project, to the whole IP, and to really get a lot of things done. But it's not determining whether or not I build it out. So
I love that, man. I love that. Respect. I feel like we could talk for another hour, but I'm limited on time today, so we'll have to like do a future episode, man. But I think thank you for sharing your story, man. I think that the whole purpose of this show is to kind of bring more light to builders and games like yourself, studios like yourself. Valent has a question, so we'll get that one out there. Are you ever gonna add God packs to the TCG?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great question because I was thinking about it earlier when you were showing off the cards.
In this first season, season 0, there's gonna be 10 God packs total.
Oh, alpha!
So if you
Let's
get
go.
one, it's 1 out of the 10 packs.
Fire. You're
But
gonna send
yeah,
me one, right? Just like send it, and I'll send you my address. We'll just,
the first batch of packs that I made to send out to people to test out the game, I legit, like, because I package everything myself too. That's another thing. Part of the question you were asking of getting the things done for the card game. I
Yeah.
package everything. I heat seal all the packs. I put it all in. I make all the like this. This was part of the beta box set that I had.
Cool.
Where is it at? Here. Well, I have it somewhere, but yeah, I package everything myself. So like, I would literally, I package
like one of the coolest hats I've ever seen. Oh my gosh!
Oh, dude, I love these hats. I'm actually going to be talking to them. I want a custom one because you can do custom ones. So you might see a Mooncats one. But yeah, I was literally packing these card packs. And then like I would literally forgot what I put in them. I was like, oh, shoot. Because I wanted to send someone like a legendary card.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I literally forgot what is in what pack.
You need like an organization like on your like desk or something, like where you can put like certain packs and like store. It's like, okay, here's some good ones that maybe you can do that with. Ghost, man, I love you, bro. I think your story is so freaking cool, man. Again, anyone who's watched the stream has probably heard me say this. Like, the thing that inspires me in Web3 gaming is just people like you, the passion, the love, the artistry, the creativity to go out there and just make something, right? The energy from like indie game developers is just something that's like unmatched, because it is the one of the purest definitions of like just a vision and a dream and blood, sweat, and tears to go into it. And it's such a tireless and can be a thankless endeavor. You make something for so long, dude. But I think that's just beautiful. And I think that indie games like Mooncats and what you're building are some of the games that just end up changing the world or changing people's lives, right? Because it's this beautiful IP, this beautiful little world and lore and game that people can lose themselves in and just fall in love with, man. So thank you so much for what you're doing. I think you like starting off as a creator and then making your own thing is just, there's not many people that have done that. So I'm rooting for you, man. Any way that we can amplify or support Mooncats, always in your corner, dude.
No, man, I appreciate it a ton, bro. I thank you. No, you've been such a huge creator in the space. Super positive, bro. Like, bro, you guys meet Icy in real life. He's this positive in real life. Unreal. Like unchanged. No, I appreciate you being in the space because I think we need people like you to just bring positivity to it, because there's a lot of negative things out there right now. Like I think I would get a little negative on Twitter too, trying to call people out, but like that's not the way to change things. I think you just have to do your part to do something good and to prove them wrong with the actions and the things that you do. So I kind of had I used to have the issue early in content creator days, but like seeing your content, the things that you would do, you uplift and yeah, you bring amazing content and positivity to the space, and I think that's really important.
Be the change that you want to be, man, and make positivity louder. Inspire through action and lead the way, which is what you're doing, man. Which is exactly what you're doing. You're like, I mean, dude, you're inspiring me to like want to make my own game.
Do it.
Go out there and be like, guys, like Web3 gaming is inevitable, and like if I got to do it myself, then fine, we'll do it ourselves.
Ghost quote. So sorry, I want to end with the quote that someone said on X. Web3 gaming is either not gonna make it till it does, or it's gonna make it.
I love that, dude. Absolutely, dude. Well said. Great way to go out. Ghost Cat Joypad on Twitter, founder of Moondance GG. Soon, one day, to be Moon Cats, the handle. You will get that. I believe in you.
Yeah,
But right
name's
now,
updated though.
Moon Cats is the game. Bro, I appreciate you so much, man. This was awesome. I think the world that you're building is so cool. Moon Cats is such a banger name. And I'm excited. I'm excited to follow the journey of the studio and the game, and if there's anything I can do to support you, over on Abstract or anything else that you're doing, please, always, my DMs are open. We can chat. With that, guys, that's going to do it for the stream, because I got to jump and get out of here. Valent, Simply, everyone that pulled up, shout out to people on Blaze. I appreciate you guys. YGG Play, Blaze are the incredible sponsors that make this show possible. That is Ghost Cat Joypad. I am Icy Gaming. You guys know, stay humble, keep dreaming, keep gaming, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.